Coming up on a positive note,
Hello!
retiring at 91. Watch how this community shows love for the man who's always shown them the way. Plus, we're gearing up to bring home the gold. These Olympic athletes from our tri-state are in it to win it. And
it feels so free.
Parkinson's tried to sit her down, so she pulled her seat right up to the table. Today, all of our news is good news. I'm Judea Murray, and here on a positive note, we highlight the most heartwarming stories from all around our tri-state that move and inspire us, starting with a heartwarming reunion on Long Island.
When I want to grow up, I wanted to be a clown because I wanted to make everybody laugh.
Every year, Mrs. Cowan makes her kindergartners write letters about what they want to be when they grow up. In their senior year, they're invited to come back and read those letters to her current kindergarten class. She says it's her favorite day of the entire year.
When I have them, they're so young and, you know, they have lots of dreams and aspirations, and then it's so nice to see them grow up and to find out what they really want to do with their lives and just to reconnect with them again.
This was Mrs. Cowan's 12th reunion, and she teaches second grade now. Isn't that so sweet? You never forget people like Mrs. Cowan, no matter how old you get. On to another memorable figure now, this time in Westchester. Mr. Ernie, the 91-year-old crossing guard in Middletown, retired last month after nearly 3 decades of service. And it looks like he'll definitely be missed. Let's take a look.
Good morning.
And how are you today? Hello!
For 29 years.
See you in a couple hours?
Yep. Bye-bye.
Mr. Ernie, the crossing guard, has been a fixture greeting kids.
You have a great day. I'll see you later.
At this corner on Commonwealth Avenue in Middletown.
It isn't a job for me. It's a pleasure to be here all these years. Are you going to go to school?
Ernest Odell is the oldest and longest serving crossing guard in Middletown history.
I grew up on this street and we did the math, so Mr. Ernie may have technically been my crossing guard when I was a kid.
This year, the last day of school is also his own because Mr. Ernie is retiring.
My favorite part is everybody was so good. Everybody in general, you know, they've always been for me, and I've tried to be for them.
City officials presented Odell with plaques for his service.
He really made a difference in this community.
And neighborhood friends wished him well. His next stop, maybe volunteering closer to family in New Windsor, where the Korean War veteran plans on moving.
Sad that I'm leaving, but I take it as a new chapter in my life. See you later, alligator. In a while, crocodile.
The City of Middletown School District say Mr. Ernie will be missed by all. Happy retirement, Mr. Ernie. Job well done. This next story will take your heart through a loop. A young Middle Island woman found out she'd be fighting for her life for the 2nd time in a row. But this time, there's a whole team of cheerleaders in her corner.
Hey, hey, what do you say? Green and white.
These cheerleaders are rooting for their coach, who needs a new kidney.
And white.
I'm basically in kidney failure again for my 2nd time.
25-year-old Madison Sanalicho from Middle Island says her kidneys first failed her when she was only 18. She says a stranger donated their kidney to her for a transplant back then, but as it turns out, it was not a lifelong fix. Now she needs another one.
I just don't feel good sometimes after dialysis, so it's a struggle, like getting up in the morning, sometimes for work, definitely. I know I can't coach cheerleading anymore.
Sanalicho goes for dialysis 3 times a week, and she's on the kidney transplant list, but she doesn't know how long it'll take to get a call. The girls she's coached in the past are taking to social media to get the word out that she needs a kidney.
I just keep telling people, you know, please, if you know anybody, reach out and everything. I'm doing everything I can to help her.
Sanalicho coached cheerleading for the Longwood Youth Sports Association, and her team says they formed a close bond with their coach.
She's helped us build up so much confidence. Like, I was so shy when I started.
I only met her a year ago, and this is my best friend.
They all support me, they all have my back, and they all, whatever they can do for me, they do for me, and they're there for me.
The 25-year-old cheerleading coach says she'll stay positive as she continues dialysis, hoping a new kidney comes soon.
Hey, hey, what do you say?
And her team will keep cheering her on.
They've been best friends since the first grade. These ladies would do anything for each other, and because of that pact, their bond recently became stronger than ever.
When Eleanor Lalima and Lisa Henschel met in the first grade, they clicked right away.
She's a good person. She's funny.
She's real. She's trustworthy.
Over the years, the best friends forged a special bond, sharing the best of times in school, the prom, graduation, weddings, and motherhood.
Our friendship was always strong throughout all the years.
The pair leaned on that strength when the worst of times hit 3 months ago. Doctors told Eleanor she was in kidney failure and needed a transplant. The situation was dire because Eleanor's mother and brother died from the same kidney disease that was threatening her life.
I was sad. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get a kidney. I didn't want to be like my mother, my brother.
Lisa offered to donate one of her kidneys to her best friend of 30 years without hesitation.
That's what you do when you have a friend, you know, especially after watching what her mother and brother went through and then losing them. I wasn't about to sit back and watch her go through that.
Tests showed Lisa was a perfect match for Eleanor. On May 25th, they underwent surgery at Stony Brook University Hospital. Eleanor's surgeon, Dr. Wayne Waltzer, says the transplant was a success.
Prognosis looks excellent, doing very well.
Dr. Frank Darris says Lisa is a hero for stepping up in her best friend's time of need.
All the donors, that's what we call them. They are the hero because nothing happens without them.
Eleanor and Lisa are sharing their story in hopes of raising awareness about kidney disease and the importance of organ donation.
If more people did it, then more people would have a better quality of life.
Lisa's gift is giving Eleanor a chance to live a full life with her family.
She saved my life and she gave me a chance at life. That means so much to me and I can't even thank her enough, and I love her with all my heart.
When an emergency arises, how will you respond? An incredibly brave camp counselor stopped at nothing to save the life of a camper who went into cardiac arrest. We have their story.
I was the assistant camp director at Camp Aquatic. On July 3rd, 2019, we walked into the cabin and we realized that one of the campers was in cardiac arrest. Me and another counselor immediately started CPR. The paramedics asked me to get some medication, and as I was running to get the medication, I went to push like a door. It was closed and I hit my head, suffering a traumatic brain injury.
Talk me through what you were thinking or what you even felt.
I didn't feel anything at the time. I was just determined to get her medication.
And then when were the first signs that you knew that you had a traumatic brain injury?
A week after, I started having balance issues and started falling all the time. I ended up in a rehab center for 3 months, relearning how to walk and everything.
And the camper, she's okay today?
She's fine, yeah. She didn't have any residual side effects.
Here you saved someone's life, but now your life has been so impacted because of it.
It's taken me like a long time to come to terms with it. I just really think everything happens for a reason.
Do you have any contact with her today?
Yes. Me and her family since then have gotten very, very close.
That's so great.
We're like family now.
These parents or these guardians are putting these kids' lives in your hands.
In a letter that they wrote me, they were so gracious. They were so grateful that she was at camp because when she went into cardiac arrest, there was somebody right there immediately.
You ever just kind of shake your head and go like, wow, that happened?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Not many people can say that they saved someone's life. It's a huge deal.
Yes.
This next one should be a reminder that it's never too late. A veteran in Hoboken, New Jersey graduated from high school. 70 years later, not an eye was dry when this man crossed the stage.
This arm will go right in here.
Okay.
It was all pomp and circumstance for the Rongo family this afternoon as their patriarch, also a veteran, Francis Anthony Rongo, suited up for graduation.
Make sure that this stays on the right because you're going to flip it to the left.
Frank Rongo should have graduated high school 70 years ago in 1951. However, when his father became ill and passed away, Frank decided to drop out of high school and start working to help make ends meet.
For my mom, I felt good about it, for helping her the way I could.
This was kind of, if you want to call it a regret potentially. It wasn't my dad's that, he had to sacrifice graduating high school back 70 years ago to take care of his family. and put food on the table.
Last February, Frank's grandson, Robert Bost, reached out to the Hoboken School District and simply shared his grandfather's story in hopes of getting a response and an opportunity to write a regret.
Every year for the last, 29 years, my grandpa here was telling me how much he regretted having to leave high school. He served his country, he worked hard his whole life, just never had the opportunity to go back and actually finish it.
Mr. Rongo was a proud product of the Hoboken Public School District.
Dr. Christine Johnson, the superintendent of schools for the Hoboken Public School District, obliged and agreed to award Frank an honorary high school diploma.
We wanted to do this last year for him, but with COVID, we just weren't able to. I did it! In a lot of ways, the resilience that Mr. Rongo had for all these years, back then and now, is kind of very similar to what the kids went through this year. And so what a great year to give an honorary high school diploma. It's fitting to do it.
And on Father's Day, Frank got the big news that at 86 years old, he'd finally be a high school graduate.
The commencement ceremony is this Friday. No one deserves this more than you do it. My God. Wow.
Frank, who also battled COVID this year, had the honor of graduating with Hoboken High School's class of 2021, a class that faced its own challenges because of the pandemic. In the end, the class of 2021 and a graduate from the class of 1951 shared a story of resilience.
And if you're wondering what's next for this vet, Mr. Rango says he's going skydiving this summer. Sounds to me like he's living his life like it's golden.